welcome back to another episode on the Lad and Dad Show with
the lad, Theo.
And the dad, Dave. And it's a happy mood, isn't it, an atmosphere at the minute, because Man United have just beaten Man City 2-0 at Old Trafford.
It's a really good atmosphere in this house today. Nobody's upset, nobody's miserable. Do you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I can't remember seeing United as good as that for a long time.
The performance was, like, outstanding, weren't it? Every player was up for it. Every player showed desire and actually wanted to play as a team, because under Ruben Amorim sometimes it was a group of individuals, weren't it?
Yeah, but it's not even just under Ruben. It's like how it's been for a long time now. It's I know we've had games like this before where they've had big wins, and it's one off, so we can't get too carried away about it. But it's just that fight. I said to you, they're actually nicking the ball and putting in challenges.
That was the thing. Yeah, they were getting tight to the players. They weren't letting them breathe, were they? So it's like it's just constantly under pressure and trying to get underneath the skin in a way, weren't it?
Yeah, I think we talk about it a lot with your game and with how I am as a boxing coach. It's about standards.
Yeah.
And I felt the standards today for the players, they put really high standards on themselves, so every single one of them worked so hard, ran back, put the challenges in. But then when they got the ball, I thought they were really composed.
They were, weren't they? Yeah, because like the transition from defence to attack, it was really quick but really composed at the same time, and it's like having the ability to do that just makes such a big difference, because against any team you're playing, it's like you can just catch them on the counter attack.
Yeah, there was a little sequence where they were on.
It was in a triangle, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
that
it
was
just ping.
So
it was like watching prime Barcelona. Yeah. It was so good. Yeah, I'm not getting carried away.
Yeah.
But it was really good to watch. It was exciting to watch. They looked a threat, and they just played some good football.
Yeah, so I think the thing that I'm actually happy about and a little bit excited, if I say so, is Michael Carrick sort of brought an old school feel back to it.
Yeah.
Because the way they were playing, the way they were fighting, and it was inside like 15 minutes, both our fullbacks were booked.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't see that anymore.
No,
so it's
like, no, that's something that I know it's not. We're not saying it's a good thing to get a booking, but it's a derby. It's a derby day. And back in my day, obviously you've watched a lot of older football and you've seen these sort of challenges go in. But in the modern game, even in derbies, everybody's pals and everybody goes in. Yeah. Whereas today, it seems as though there were that little bit of bite, that little bit of fight, which I've got to mention. I do think that United were a bit lucky with the Diego Dalot.
I think so as well. I think it should have been a red.
Yeah, I think in today's game, it's a red.
Yeah.
So he is lucky. You can't, but it was. I think what saved him was that it didn't go full throttle, stiff-legged
like
into it.
It was like a little skim, weren't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like he flicked towards it. But still, I think in today's game, I think it's a red card. But in my day, it's not a red card.
So yeah, hopefully we can sustain that performance.
So what we've got to do now, it's got to be, what is it I always talk about? I always talk about consistency and everything.
Consistency is key.
United now have got, for me, they've got to show that level of consistency. And do you know when it counts is when they get a couple of games where maybe things aren't going right for them, and then they stick with it and they keep showing that fight, that closing people down, chasing back, just the basic things that shows that you want to win and you've got pride. For me, that's a big thing.
And say Michael Carrick does really well until the end of the season,
which is 17 games.
Yeah, 17 games, basically half season, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that he might have a shot of a job if he does really well. What do you think?
So it's easy to get carried away because we've had one game and they've looked brilliant. And it looks like he's got a tune out of them. But like you said, there's 17 games left.
Yeah.
Let's judge him at the end of the 17 games. But what I will say is that let's say now you don't even speak about him as he's going to get a manager's job after one game. But let's just say that he does do a great job for the 17 games. Yeah. We get a run of where we're winning some games. You remember, there's that geezer still trying to get his haircut with 5 games. Let's say he gets to have an haircut.
Yeah.
And United finished in the top 5 and got a Champions League position. Depending on performances, if the performances were right and build on today, then I don't see why you can't give him the job, because you can't say, because it's Carrick, he's not got experience, he's not done this. But we've we've had people like Van Gaal, we've had people like Mourinho, who are legends of the game, of the management game, and been so successful and proven track record and so much experience, and they've not done anything with the team, really.
So I think that from my point of view, looking at it, is like, if he sets up this structure in the club where they're all on board with his idea, he's doing quite well, he gets top 5 Champions League, and then he goes and someone else comes in, how long is that going to take to get their structure and their way of playing into the team when it's already established? So I think that could be a reason why he could stay if he plays really well.
Well, let's see, because I do think that jobs should be given on merit.
Yeah.
And if he earns the right, then why not? And then I think he's got to make himself. He's got to put himself in a position where it's very difficult not to give him the job. I think that's how he's got to approach it. And like I said, it's one game, but it's a good start. He's built himself there. Now there's got to be some sort of consistency there. But yeah, we're in dreamland again because we beat City, and it's not often that it happens now. So we can dream big. But gotta say, you know, we've got that. I think we're in that 4th Champions League spot, which we keep faltering every time it looks like we can go top 5. And I've just seen now is that Liverpool have been held by Burnley.
Oh really?
Yeah. So they've dropped more points. They seem to be dropping so many points this season as defending champions. I just think the way the season is, you've got to be careful about how highly you rate yourselves because all the other teams are stuttering.
So with the league, do you think Arsenal can win it?
I think Arsenal should win it now.
6 points now before Arsenal play. I think they should win it, like you said.
So if they win today,
goes to 9.
And it goes to 9 points. They're on level games, 22 games in. If they blow it, then it's just unforgivable, really.
Yeah.
Because 9 points after 22 games, you would say that should be enough for a team of Arsenal's experience now, because they've been pushing for the last couple of years. So it's not like it's like a Villa, who are just all of a sudden like a surprise team of the year sort of thing. And then maybe they fade through the back end. Now it's about mentality and about bottle, really. I think. So I would rather have Arsenal win the league than City or Liverpool. So I'm hoping Arsenal do it.
Yeah. So we talked about both fullbacks being on a yellow card within 15 minutes. And this leads me on to a question. So, are players nowadays in football more athletic but less tough?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, 100%. Because back in my day, from when I started watching football in the the 80s, I think the first memories I've got are I remember a little bit of the H2 World Cup. But I became a big, 83 with Man United. So from early 80s into the 90s, you used to see some meaty tackles. Especially in the Italian league. The Italian league was oh my god, there were some butchers in that division, in that league. Looking at footballers now, they're far more athletic. Nutrition, they've got sports scientists behind them. They're very, very athletic. They're faster. They're lasting longer as well. They seem to be, players lasting longer. But they are protected. So which is why when people talk about the best players in the world and things like that, I will kind of like refer back to when people make a comparison between Maradona and Messi and people. The leagues that Maradona had to play in, and the amount he got battered, like kicks, like studs. When you see him today, when people say about Dallo with his little flick, mate, I'm talking about stamps. There's one where Schumacher, the German goalkeeper, comes bombing out of his area, jumps up in the air and takes a player clean out, like studs up everything. But stuff like that used to go on all the time. We had nicknames. There was nicknames. I don't know if it was Burruchaga for, I think it was Argentina, but they used to have nicknames for the defenders like the Butcher. So that tells you what kind of tackling you got.
Now, especially in the past few years with VAR, I think in derbies you don't see that sort of And you know, like when people used to fight on the pitch,
Yeah.
like you don't really see that
They used
because
to
now
fight in tunnels.
they'll get sent off.
Yeah, they used to scrap in tunnels and stuff. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but what I'm saying is, you know, another thing what I will say, and it really irritates me, and I've always said this about you, and I would disown you if you was one of these players, is back in the day they'd get these arse tackles, there'd be elbows, there'd be, you know, forearms, all sorts, and players would just get on with it. They were hard.
Yeah.
These days you have a player where a few fingers
there was
just
one
slap
today
him
on
out.
Casemiro, weren't it?
Yeah.
It literally tapped him.
Yeah.
And he went jumping on the floor.
And they're jumping on the floor.
I think that's wrong.
So, as a man, and also listen, I'm in boxing, aren't I?
Yeah.
So,
cool.
I look at that. You look at rugby.
Yeah.
But as a man and as an athlete who has got thousands of eyes on you in the arena, but then millions of eyes on you on TV and social media clips and things like that. Why would you want to portray the fact that you just got hurt by a little flick?
It's like that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not like
they go down like
punched.
they go down like they've been shot.
Yeah.
So I think it's embarrassing. So stop doing it. And I've also, I always said to Theo when from under sevens, don't just go down. Don't just jump on the floor. Don't, you know. And I would disown you, and I would stop being your preferable Uber X driver, right? Uber Black, in fact. I think I'm an Uber Black. I would stop being your Uber Black driver, if you were to dive on the floor and if somebody give you a little touch and you went crying on the floor and things like that. I'm not into that.
Definitely won't be doing that one then.
So in answer to your question, I 100% believe that players now are more athletic, but are way less tough.
Yeah, so it's like, because like when you say people make comparisons between players now compared to then, it's like, I think with Messi and Ronaldo, they're sort of the last two players who are still playing now to play in that generation where it was rough, but it wasn't as rough as when you were growing up. So if you think about early 2000s...
Yeah, Ronaldo used to get hacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't really see as much of Messi, because obviously when Ronaldo was at Man United, he was a young kid.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of Ronaldo as a young kid, and he used to get hacked because he used to do all these little tricks. He'd overplay sometimes. In fact, his own players would give him stick and say release the ball a little bit earlier, or at least have an end product. But yeah, he used to get hacked. But yeah, perhaps they're the last kind of like general. But they still, even those have had it nowhere near as tough as the old school players. Yeah.
You know what? Like just a little fantasy thought. I'd think like an old era is like before 2005 era against 2005 to present game like 11v11. I think that'd be good.
What 2005 versus 2025?
Yeah, that'd be a good game.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, it's always good. It's like we in boxing, we always have like fancy matchups between the old fighters from way back to now, and people always say, "Oh, would he beat him? Would he beat him?" It's always good to wonder, you know, who wins in those sort of things.
And sort of staying on the sort of lines of sport, would you say hard work beats talent in anything?
You would like to think so, and 9 times out of 10 in over time and during a consistent phase,
so
I would say yes. Yeah, I mean, listen, a talented kid can still succeed without doubt, but to get that longevity, you need that hard work.
So would you sort of like, obviously you need the hard work, but would you sort of swap, if in the question talent versus hard work, to talent versus discipline?
Discipline.
Then?
Yeah, I think in order to succeed, you need discipline.
Yeah.
100%. But even you know, when we talk about kids that are talented and succeed, they still have to, every player or every professional boxer or whatever you want to be, tennis player or whatever, everybody that gets to that certain level of professional, professional, they've worked hard. Yeah. They've worked hard to get there. You know, even whether they're flash and they're talented, you know, and people say it's natural, they've still had to practice. If they're a flashy player, they've still had to, you know, look at the amount of work that you put in. But you're not the type of kid that's kind of like naturally talented. You've worked. Your ethos is work hard, and I won't just rely on talent. And I just think that discipline and hard work, for longevity wise, will get you there. And then if you get a kid that's naturally talented with a kid that's probably not as natural as him, but works harder than them, that's where the balance can flip over.
Yeah.
Me as a coach, obviously I coached you for 5 years in football.
Yeah.
And as a boxing coach for like years and years, 30 years or something like that, I would take a kid that is perhaps not getting things as quick, finds it harder to pick things up, but has got more discipline, determination, and more desire to succeed than naturally talented.
Because they'll keep pushing away, grinding away.
I just think that if you've got discipline and if you've got the mentality that you want to learn and you want to get better, then you will always improve.
Yeah.
Because that will keep pushing you. Whereas if you haven't got that discipline, even you could have it at the start, but then you get to a point, you start earning money, start driving around in flash cars, living in a big house, start making the first team, say for instance, and then you take your foot off the pedal, and then that's lack of discipline. Then the discipline starts waning, because the ones that last for so long, you think Ronaldo, Messi, been at the top of the game for a decade plus. In order to be that wealthy, have that much success, winning all them titles and winning everything, personal awards and everything like that, and yet still work as hard as what they do, that is discipline. Because motivation gets you so far, and some days you can't be arsed. Some days you don't want to get up and
it's
train.
like it was in 2022 World Cup, we were thinking, oh, it's their last, both of them.
Yeah.
Then in summer they're going to be playing again. So it just shows you they keep on working hard.
Yeah.
Keep on working hard.
So I do. I think discipline is definitely number one.
This is going to be a bit controversial for everyone watching this one. So the social media ban. It's already happened in Australia.
Yeah.
It looks like it could happen over here because Keir Starmer wants to fetch that in.
Yeah, he's not the best geezer around there.
For me, it's like, obviously you sort of manage my account, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's like if ever I have something a bit weird on there or someone's trying to do something, I'll always go to you for it.
Yeah.
And I'm under 16. But I think he shouldn't ban it because not just you can scroll on TikTok for hours and hours and hours, which some people do, but also if you've got a role model who's on there, say like Cristiano Ronaldo's, and you follow them, it's like you can get to see how they live their life off the pitch, and it's like you sort of might want to try and copy them. But if you haven't got that, then you can't. Even stuff like YouTube, that's classed as social media.
Yeah.
So we're taking that away. So if you want to go and learn on there for school, say for example, you want to pick up some like little tutoring tips or football, you're studying positioning.
Well, your sister, when she was young, learned how to play the guitar on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's a big part of educating yourself on YouTube, is where you just like do these little tutorials, and I think taking that away is wrong because it's sort of part of your childhood in a way.
You made a good point there about people that you follow on there. Will inspire you. We look at a lot of we follow a lot of people for motivation for whether it's sport or business, don't you? Even like you're a big fan of Stephen Bartlett, Chris Williams, people like that. So he watches a lot of that. He's got a Stephen Bartlett book, but he's always watching the little clips of Stephen Bartlett all the time, and people like that inspire people like him. So you're by banning social media, blanket banning for kids that are under 16, you're stunting their development and what they wanting to do.
True, yeah.
Now, the flip side is the social media needs to be more control. More control.
Yeah.
Be under more control in terms of what gets put on there. Like there's a lot of indecent images and things like that get put on there, and that's what I understand. Trying to protect kids from.
Yeah.
But also there's a lot of weirdos out there, which there is in every walk of life. But they've got access to you on social media.
I think because, like I said earlier, you manage my account, and I think avoid that, there should be a setting where it's like, say you're under 16, you need a parent or something to manage it. So if you have any messages what come in, they see them first.
Yeah.
And then you put in your age, and then that content is sort of to do with that age, or the parent selects what topics to go on there, if you know what I mean.
Right, so like it would only come onto your feed
If
under
you,
the certain topic.
Yeah.
So let's say, for instance, for you, say what your interests, say business, football, tennis, golf, motivation.
Yeah.
So then the only videos that come onto your feed is people that are putting out that sort of content.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Yeah, definitely. In terms of private messaging and DMing, this is where there's as a parent, that's the scary side of things.
Yeah.
But that's where we've always thought, well, right, I understand that, but we've had an open relationship where we've always spoke about things like that. Anybody that's attempting to, be careful about who you allow to follow you, or who tries to message you and things like that, and then we'll look at them, see what their account's like, see, and if there's any untoward, then to get blocked straight off and reported straight off, no problem. But that's down to parents to monitor the account. You can't just say, I'm managing my son's account, and then you never actually look at it. You never actually see what's going on. You never check the comments. So there's an element of responsibility on the parent. But also, I feel the parent needs to be open with the child. If you're going to let your kid, which is what we did, we made a decision to allow you to have your social media. Because the world's getting driven. No matter what you got on social media younger than what your sister did, because as time's gone on, it changes. So then, if you're not on it, then you fall behind. And now you look at how opportunities coming your way and the experience you've got talking on camera and things like that. It's because you've had access to social media and be able to have access to do things like this with your reels and on your Instagram and stuff like that. So you're getting yourself out there. You're kind of like preparing yourself for a possible career going forward.
So I think that's another thing as well, is that anybody who, because now kids who are getting younger at school, I want to go into stream, I want to do this on YouTube. It's like you're taking that away from them, where that could be a potential career for them.
Yeah, and that's why you can't have a blanket ban over. So it's like saying, so cars are dangerous. Right, you get in a car, touch wood, never happens, but I could have an accident tomorrow. I could crash my car. Does that mean that I'm never going to drive my car? Well, I don't want to go in a car in case that happens. You can't do that, because there's a lot of good that also comes from driving that car.
Definitely.
You can say that about everything. You can say that about foods that you have. You can say that about, if you do too much training and you get injured, you train while you're injured, you're going to be even worse. Well, there's all sorts of things where you've got to monitor how you use it, how you do things. And I think social media is the same thing. It needs controls. It needs monitoring. Parents need to monitor under 16's accounts properly, and any dodgy people like that need locking up. Listen, there's a guy that was BBC newscaster, got caught with dodgy images on his laptop, and he never even, nothing, he got a slap on the wrist. People, you need to have tougher punishments if anyone's doing things like that.
So that's the thing as well. It's like, even in school now, the punishments are getting less and less for like the things you do.
What do you mean?
So it's like, say someone like, I don't know, hit someone. It's like, whereas before it'd be like, expelled. Now it's like you just get an after school detention and 2 break time detentions. So it's like not just like hitting someone, like
I was saying, like in my day at school, mate, the fights going off all the time. There'd be like people getting bullied, all sorts of things.
And it's like, so I'll use bullying. It's like you get sort of told to, it's called SLT. You get told to them, but then it's like nothing really happens from that. They very rarely follow up, so the kids just get away with it. It's like it sort of follows from school, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an interesting chat.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of opinions on that, and there'll be people who'll disagree what we have to say. But yeah, I think you put a good point about yourself. I mean, it is it isn't something that will suit everybody and fit everybody, and everybody will agree with it. It is a controversial subject, but again, it's another thing where Keir Starmer was looking at taking away choices for people. And I think that's a dangerous thing.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for watching this video.